Welcome to the story that is being unfolding right before our eyes. It has been there since yesterday, since day before yesterday, even a hot topic today. And this started in 2022. Tale of war, resilience, and partnership that rewrote, and it's rewriting actually, the rule of global support. I'm talking about Russia, I'm talking about Ukraine, and I'm talking about United States. Yes, and European nations too. Since Russia invasion of Ukraine in 2022, the United States has poured billions. Yes, billions. Some news sources says 182.8, some says 200, some says only 80 come or 85 came, and somebody says 60. But yes, the money is in billions. And this all money is poured in Eastern European nations and Ukraine. But what exactly has this money brought? And how did it get there? And here's the kicker, how this money would be paid back by Ukraine. I am diving deep into the numbers, the deals, and the surprising twist involving Ukraine hidden treasures. So buckle up, this is going to be a very wild ride. So let's start with big question. What has the US sent to Ukraine? Since the war began in February 2022, the US has committed over 182 billion in aid by late 2024. So February 2022, the war began. The commitment by late 2024 is so far has reached to 182 billion. That's the number so massive it could fund entire countries for years. But where did it go? So I'm going to break it down. Military aid, humanitarian, and the financial support. So if I divide this 182 into three buckets, military aid was the biggest one, 107, almost like 60%. Humanitarian aid, 25 billion. Financial support, 50 billion. So first up is military aid. That's around 107, 110 billion worth. That's like high-tech weapons like HIMARS rocket systems, Javelin missiles, and Abrams tanks. They aren't just tools, they are actually the game changers on the battlefield. Picture this, Ukraine soldier outnumbered firing US Javelin that take out a Russian tank just in seconds. That kind of power the US has given to Ukraine. And then there's humanitarian aid, 25 billion to feed houses and heal humans dispatched by wars. Imagine convoys of food, medical tents coming in the overnight, and families getting a lifeline when everything else is crumbling. And finally, 50 billion for financial support. That actually means that it's cash, it's a direct cash going to Ukraine's government to run, pay salaries. It's like keeping the light on, literally. But here's the catch, this isn't a gift, it's a lifeline with strings attached. And these strings, they're about to be pulled. They will pull us into one of the most fascinating deal in modern geopolitics. So how does this 182 billion move from Washington, the capital city of United States, to Kyiv, the capital city of Ukraine? It's not like they are wiring this money or doing a Venmo or a PayPal. It's actually a logistical masterpiece. Let's take a look. Step 1, the Congress approves the fund. It's about think about heated debates happening, late night votes and stack of legislations. Once that gets approved, the step 2 comes into the picture. The Pentagon and the State Department gets to work. Military gear is pulled from the US stockpile or ordered fresh from the manufacturers like Lockheed Martin. Once that is ready, step 3 it gets shipped. It's shipped in planes to Poland, trucks across the borders, and shipped to European ports. That's how the military aid works. Now, if I talk about the humanitarian aids, that goes through non-government organizations called NGOs and international partners. They're the one who are distributing foods and medicines on the ground. Let's take a look at Zaporizhzhia region. For example, before Russia forces took it in 2022, The US was already helping that region with nuclear reactors like Unit number 2, boosting its power by 10%. Now that plant is a bargaining chip. We'll get to that. The point is, this aid isn't just about cash, it's a pipeline of power flowing through allies like Poland and Romania straight in the front lines of Ukraine. So this money is in the form of services, arms, and many other things. And and it's not about just stuff. It's about the strategy. The US has sent intelligence. You heard Alex Karp, the CEO of Palantir, talking about supporting Ukraine, and that's where the intelligence came in Ukraine through one of their products, training to Ukraine, even cybersecurity experts to keep Ukraine up in the fight. You heard about Neuralink satellites being there. That was also some kind of a support. But that's where things gets juicy. All this support comes up with question mark. How does Ukraine pay it back when its economy is already in ruins? After all this money spent in the form of services, some other things, or even direct, time has changed, and the time has changed to its payback. Enter the payback plan. A deal that's got everyone talking. Ukraine is broke, right? War trashed its economy. GDP is nowhere, it's down. Infrastructure is wrecked. So, how do you think they will pay or repay 182 billion? Answer lies beneath Ukraine's soil and in its power plants. Let's unpack this, starting with the report from Center of Strategic and International Studies. February 2025, the US and Ukraine sign a framework deal for minerals. It is rare earths, oil, gas. Ukraine got some of the world's richest deposits, vital for technology, batteries, and defense. You talk about the news, that's only three things people are talking: technology, batteries, and defense. And their richest deposits are found in Ukraine. The deal? Joint development. Ukraine contribute 50% of the future revenue from these resources into a reconstruction investment fund. The US gets access and Ukraine gets cash for rebuilding. It's a win-win, right? But here's the twist. It's not just minerals. Enter the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant. I will say it's ZNPP, just in a short form. It's a nuclear power plant. It's one of the Europeans' biggest nuclear power plant ever. It's worth estimated around 42 billions. Around seven reactors are there. Seven, yes. Seven, six or 42, around 6 billion for one reactor. Before the war, it pumped around 30,000 gigawatt a year. It is about 30,000. It's around, the real number is around 29,299 gigawatt hour. If that gigawatt hour is sent to homes, it values in return of money of around 1.5 billion in 2016 alone. Now it's under Russian control, offline, and that becomes the hot topic in the peace talks. Trump tells Zelensky, let the US take ownership of your power plants. When I say of your power plants, that means all power plants, including Zaporizhzhia. Why? Security. Keep it out of the Russian hands and leverage US expertise to run it. Plus, that energy could power the mineral mines the US wants. It's actually a bold move. It's tied to a ceasefire deal: 30 days, no attacks on energy sites starting March 18. Do you think this will settle so easily? No, there is a pushback. Ukraine is not thrilled about handing over ZNPP. Europe is skeptical, saying Russia's not serious about peace. And the minerals, Ukraine rejected an earlier 500 billion demand, settling for the fund instead. The CSIS report says it's about energy intensive mining. Think about titanium, lithium. They need power ZNPP could provide if it's back online. So the payback is mix: mineral funds reconstruction, maybe ZNPP under the US control, or at least influence to secure and power the deal. It's not charity, it's actually a strategy. Ukraine keeps the sovereignty and US gets the resources. And Russia, well, they are on the table too, with talks in Riyadh erasing tension. So, what's the takeaway? The US has given Ukraine a lifeline, 182 billion in weapons, food, and cash to fight war and survive. It's moved through planes, trucks, and partnerships. It's a logistical feat. And the payback, it's not cash because they don't have cash. It's minerals, maybe a nuclear power plant or plants and a new alliance. This isn't just aid, it's a stake in Ukraine's future and the world's past. But there's a big question. Will it work? Can Ukraine rebuild, repay, and reclaim ZNPP or any other power plants? Or in this deal, it's a gamble that could reshape the region. Tell us, what do you think? Write me your comments. Subscribe for more deep dives like this. I'm Anand, and this has been From Aid to Alliance. See you next time.